In January, President Donald Trump returned to the White House with a hardline promise. Tariffs would bring jobs back, cut taxes, and force global manufacturers to play by America's rules. But just 100 days in, his signature auto tariffs are already being diluted. What happened? On paper, Trump's 25% tariff on imported cars and car parts, effective from the 3rd of April, was supposed to level the playing field, a warning shot to global automakers. But the backlash was swift. Car companies said costs would spike, profits would plunge, and prices would soar for Americans.
But such horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk. I don't blame these other countries at all for this calamity. I blame former presidents and past leaders who weren't doing their job. They let it happen, and they let it happen to an extent that nobody can even believe. That's why, effective at midnight, we will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles.
Facing mounting pressure from Ford, GM, Stellantis, and others, Trump blinked. This week, he signed executive orders that grant exemptions, rebates, and tariff offsets, most notably for US-assembled cars using foreign parts. Under the new rules, automakers get a one-off offset for up to 15% of a car's sticker price. In year 2, that drops to 10%, and by year 3, gone. Tariffs remain, but with loopholes.
We just wanted to help them during this little transition, short term. And during this little, if they can't get parts, it has to do with a very small percentage. If they can't get parts, we didn't want to penalize them.
Trump insists this isn't a reversal, but just flexibility. But the policy's been walked back so many times. Even industry leaders admit they can't plan long term.
Were you worried about the automobiles? Is that why? No, not at all. We're just giving them a little chance because in some cases they can't get the parts fast enough. So this is just a little transition. It's 15% for 1 year and just 10% for another. It's a little bit.
The exemptions also apply to overlapping tariffs on steel, aluminum, and NAFTA partners. If you pay one, you won't pay another, at least on paper. Trump claims tariffs are generating billions, $2 billion a day. Here's a reality check. US government data says it's closer to $285 million per day. Still a bump, but far from the bonanza he promised. Even that revenue comes at a price. Americans are now facing the highest average tariff rate in over a century, 28%. Prices of new and used cars, spare parts, insurance premiums, and repairs are all going up. General Motors pulled its full-year profit forecast. Ford and Stellantis have warned of uncertainty. GM even postponed its earnings call, waiting for clarity on tariffs before speaking to investors. Meanwhile, stock markets are jittery. Consumer confidence has hit post-pandemic lows. And companies from UPS to Electrolux are laying off staff or slashing forecasts, blaming tariff turbulence. Trump says the goal is to punish countries like China and reward US factories. But allies like Canada and Mexico have called the policy chaotic and retaliatory tariffs from Beijing, some as high as 125%, have already kicked in. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick hinted at backdoor deals with unnamed foreign nations. Trump, however, named India. At his Michigan rally, he said he's optimistic.
India's coming along great. I think we'll have a deal with India. The Prime Minister, as you know, was here 3 weeks ago, and they want to make a deal. We'll see what happens.
Critics say it's all politics. The backpedaling, the relief packages, the constant changes. They argue it's less about strategy, more about managing headlines. Trump's approval on economic performance is now at just 36%. The president claims it's working, that tariffs will eventually fund tax cuts, maybe even eliminate income tax altogether. But for now, American automakers are relieved, but not reassured.